Good morning. Today we will discuss regarding hydraulic actuators. Hydraulic systems are used to control and transmit power. A pump driven by prime mover, such as electric motor, creates a flow of fluid in which the pressure, direction, and flow rate are controlled by valves. An actuator is used to convert the energy of fluid back into the mechanical power. So hydraulic actuators are also called as consumers are the elements of hydraulic system which transforms the hydraulic energy into useful work. The amount of output power developed depends upon the flow rate, pressure drop across the actuator and its overall efficiency. Thus, they are devices which use to convert pressure energy of the fluid into mechanical energy. The applications of hydraulic system is concerned with moving, gripping, lifting and rotating motions with force. Devices that actually achieve this objective of moving, gripping, lifting and rotating motions are called as actuators. Depending on the type of actuation, hydraulic actuators are classified as first is linear actuators, second rotary actuators, and third semi rotary actuator. So first is linear actuator. So linear actuators convert hydraulic energy into straight line motion. It includes various types of hydraulic cylinders. Second is rotary actuators. Rotary actuators convert hydraulic energy into rotational motion. They may further divided as limited rotation actuators and hydraulic motors. Limited rotary actuators transmit a part of full rotation whereas the hydraulic motors are equivalent to electric motor which may be unidirectional or bidirectional. And third is semi-rotary actuator. It is used for limited angle of actuation, that is semi-rotary actuators. So this is regarding the types of hydraulic actuators. Now the first category of hydraulic actuator is linear actuators. So hydraulic cylinder is the most widely used actuator of hydraulic system. As their name implies, it provides motion in a straight line. The total movement is a finite amount determined by the construction of the unit. So they are referred to as cylinders, rams, and jacks. The function of hydraulic cylinder is to convert the hydraulic power into linear mechanical force or motion. So hydraulic cylinder extend and retract a piston rod to provide a pull or push force to drive the external load along the straight path. So the linear motion obtained from the hydraulic cylinder can be used to pull, push, lift, grab, turn, or any other useful form of work with the use of links and mechanisms. The types of hydraulic cylinders. So hydraulic cylinder are of the following types. First is single acting cylinders, double acting cylinders, telescopic cylinders, tandem cylinders. So first is single acting hydraulic cylinder. So you can see the diagram. So the piston and the piston rod, it is shown in a cylinder. Then in the cylinder there is a pressure port and the vent port, and the spring, it is shown on a piston rod. So it is of piston inside a cylinder housing called as barrel. On one side is attached a rod which can reciprocate. At the opposite end, there is a port for entrance and exit of the oil. They produce force only in one direction by hydraulic pressure acting on the piston. The return of the spring is not done hydraulically, it is either done by gravity or spring. So this type of cylinder is used for comparatively low loads than plunger or ram type hydraulic cylinder. So this cylinder may be gravity return or spring return. So the return stroke of the piston, it is due to the gravity or the due to the spring. So this cylinder finds its application mostly in production tooling for clamping, pushing, etc. Now next is double acting cylinder. So there are two types of double acting cylinder. First is double acting cylinder with single piston rod, and second is double acting cylinder with double piston rod. So first is double acting cylinder with single piston rod. So you can see in a diagram there is only one piston rod at one side of the piston. So there is a cylinder barrel, inside that there is a piston and piston rod, but only one piston on only one side there is a piston rod is attached. So it is a double acting cylinder with single piston rod. So the extension stroke and the return stroke that is shown in a diagram. So in this type, the fluid pressure can be exerted on both sides of the piston whenever required. To extend the cylinder, the pump flow is sent to the blank end port as shown in the figure. The fluid from the rod end port returns to the reservoir. Now, to retract the cylinder, the pump flow is sent to the rod end port, and the fluid from the blank end port returns to the tank as shown in the another diagram. There are two different piston areas on both sides of the piston due to the presence of piston rod on one side. Due to differential area, the retraction stroke is faster than extension stroke. Extension stroke means it is a forward stroke, and retraction stroke means it is a return stroke. Force obtained in extension stroke is more than that of retraction stroke. Then second, that is double acting cylinder with double piston rod. So you can see in a diagram there are two rods on either end of the piston. There is a inlet and exit port. So it has piston rods extending out from both ends of cylinder. Since annular area is same on both sides, it has forward and reverse stroke of same speed and same force. Certain applications such as feeding of machine table in machine tools demands motion to be transmitted on both sides of the cylinder. In such application, double acting double rod cylinders are used. So the application involves in a process where work can be done by both the ends of the cylinder, thereby making the cylinder more productive. Special design cylinders. In that we will see telescopic cylinder. A telescopic cylinder is needed when a long stroke length and a short retracted length are needed. The telescopic cylinder works similar to a telescope, which can be extended several times of its unextended length. It has a series of ramps nested in telescopic assembly. The telescopic cylinder extends in stages, each stage consisting of a sleeve that fits inside the previous stage. One application for this type of cylinder is raising a dumping truck bed. Telescopic cylinders are available both in single acting and double acting models. So you can see the diagram of telescopic cylinder. So in the first diagram, that is on a left hand side, there are the three stages and these are the extended positions, and on the right hand side you can see the retracted positions of the telescopic cylinder. The construction, they are generally consist of nest of tubes and operate on the displacement principle. The tubes are supported by bearing rings, the innermost set of which have grooves or channels to allow the fluid flow. The front bearing assembly on each selection includes seals and wiper rings. Stop rings limit the movement of each section, thus preventing the separation. Thus, for a given input flow rate, the speed of operation increases in steps as each successive section reaches the end of its stroke. Similarly, for a specific pressure, the load shifting capacity decreases for each of the successive tubes. Next is tandem cylinder. A tandem cylinder is a combination of two or more cylinders working in tandem, that is, coupled mechanically to each other. Each cylinder has its own inlet and outlet ports but cannot operate independent of other cylinder. The advantage of tandeming the cylinder lies in forces addition. Greater forces can be obtained at same pressure without increasing the piston sizes but decreasing the area on which the pressure acts by coupling two or more cylinders. This finds application especially where high force requirement with limited space is required. So pressure is applied to both the pistons resulting in an increased force because of large areas. The only drawback is that these cylinders must be longer than a standard cylinder to achieve an equal speed because the flow must go to both the pistons simultaneously. Then one term that is the cushioning of cylinders. So the cushion sphere, it is shown on a piston. There is a cushion adjusting restrictor. So cushioning of cylinders. So for prevention of shock due to stopping loads at the end of piston stroke, cushion devices are used. So cushion may be applied at either end or both the ends. They operate on a principle that as the cylinder piston approaches the end of the stroke, an exhaust fluid is forced to go through an adjustable needle valve that is set to control escaping the fluid at the given rate. So this allows the deceleration characteristics to be adjusted for different loads. When the cylinder piston is actuated, the fluid enters the cylinder port and flows through a little check valve so that the entire piston area can be utilized to produce forces and motion. So you can see the exhaust flow passes freely out of the cylinder. Then second, plunger enters the cap. Third is no flow takes a restricted path causing the piston to decelerate. Fourth is rate of deceleration can be adjusted here. And the last one, that is check valve, allows free flow to the piston to extend. The next category of the hydraulic actuators is rotary actuators. A rotary actuator is a device that converts hydraulic energy into rotational motion. The rotational motion may be limited rotation or continuous full rotation. The former called limited rotary actuator and the latter called the hydraulic motors. So limited rotary actuators transmit the torque with rotation of the shaft less than 360 degree. Some have a rotation of 90 degree, 180 degree or 270 degree. Hydraulic motors are equivalent of electric motors in an electrical system. Hydraulic motors converts pressure energy into continuous rotation. Now the first category of the rotary actuator is limited rotary actuators, because it will operate in a limited rotation. And the second category, when it is a continuous full rotation, it is called hydraulic motors. So first category that we will see, it is a limited rotary actuators. So the first we will see the rotary vane actuator or vane type limited rotary actuator. In this, one or more vanes are attached to the drive shaft. The vanes are mounted centrally and their rotation is limited by stops. So you can see in the diagram, there is an outer cylinder, then the actuator shaft, and when it is attached to the actuator shaft, there is a vane seal and there is a stationary barrel. The pressure difference in two chambers creates a differential force on vane, causing the vane to turn and thus rotate the shaft. So when the vane rotates, the shaft rotates, causing the rotation, causing the movement or limited rotary movement. Reversing the flow of pressurized fluid can reverse the rotation of the actuator. Next type of limited rotary actuator is single cylinder rack and piston actuator, that is shown in a diagram, and the dual piston type limited rotary actuator. So the linear motion of pistons is converted into rotary motion by the use of rack and pinion mechanism. The two single acting cylinders along with rack and pinion are enclosed in a casing with only shaft protruding out. Rotary motion is possible in both clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Then next category of rotary actuator or the next type of rotary actuator is hydraulic motors. So hydraulic motors are found increasingly in industrial and mobile hydraulics application. A hydraulic motor is a source of obtaining continuous rotary motion. It has following advantages over conventional sources of obtaining rotary motion like electric motor. It is a compact, then wide range of speed is available, then frequent starting, stopping, reversing and sudden stops are possible with control valves. It can provide variable torque by the use of pressure control valves. So high pressure fluid is used to turn a shaft. This is done in many different ways. Much like a cylinder, the power comes from the pressure acting over a large area and creating the large force. Now the types of hydraulic motors: gear motors, vane motors, piston motors and limited rotation actuator. So first is gear type motors. Gear type motor works on a principle reverse to that of a gear pump. So pressurized fluid enters from the bottom and pressurizes the chamber. This pressure this pressure exerts a force on the two teeth, cause the imbalance of forces on the gears, resulting in rotation of both the gears. Gear motor suffers from leakage, which is quite high at low speeds. Hence, gear motors are used where medium speed and low torque are required. So, due to that pressurized fluid, the gear rotates, and when the gear rotates, the shaft that will get rotated, getting the rotary movement of the shaft. So, gear type motor works on a principle reverse to that of gear pump. Then gear motors, internal gear motor, two categories: direct drive gerotor works much like a rotary engine, two gears, an inner and the outer. The pressure pushes them around a center point, turning a shaft. So it causes result or the it causes the rotation of the shaft due to the pressurized fluid. Then the vane type motor, it is very similar to vane pump. The pressurized fluid enters from the bottom and causes the force on the vane, which imbalances the rotor and cause it to rotate. Compared to gear motors, these motors have less leakage tendency. Hence, these motors can be used even at lower speeds. Like vane pump, loading occurs on the shaft of a single vane motor. Hence, balance type design of vane type motor is commonly used. Then the piston type motor. Piston type motors are most commonly used motors in hydraulic systems. They are the same as hydraulic pumps, except they are used to convert hydraulic energy into mechanical energy, means rotary motion. It is a radial piston motor and it operates in reverse of the radial piston pump. In this, the fluid is forced into the cylinders and drives the piston outwards. The piston pushing against the rotor causes cylinder block to rotate. In the diagram, three pistons are shown for simplicity of understanding. Normally, it contains 7 or 9 pistons. When the liquid is forced into the cylinder bore containing piston 1, the piston moves outward since the liquid can be compressed. This causes the cylinder to rotate in a clockwise direction. As the force acting on piston 1 causes the cylinder block to rotate, piston 2 starts to rotate and approach the position of piston 3. As the piston 2 rotate, it is forced inwards and in turn forces the fluid out of the cylinder. As the piston moves past the shortest distance between the cylinder block and the rotor, the fluid is forced into the cylinder. Piston 3 then becomes the pushing piston and in turn rotates the cylinder block. This action continues as long as fluid under pressure enters the cylinders. So here it is, the radial piston motor, it is shown. Then bent axis piston motor. So it is an example of variable displacement motor. So the angle is altered to change the displacement. So this is a bent axis piston motor. So this is regarding the hydraulic actuators. Thank you.